Okay, good morning. New session, new day, new me. And yeah, it's Friday. As you know, the best day to grind. Let's see if we get some fancy action. So it's literally the start of my grinding day. I just jumped into the first tables, and there are only 4 tables on NL1K right now available because it's relatively early. So there's no EV in doing table selection, as it is just not possible. Okay. On table 1 we could decide if you do something like a one-time bet, as we produce reasonable fold equity. On a rainbow board I can definitely see that. Now I think it's a must-have to do a bet, as they're only calling King X and better, sometimes 6x too. Interesting here, we have a gut shot 2 overs. I think enough equity to check back and not bluffing it on the flop. Yeah. But maybe betting is, I think, also fine too, as we get some folds from ace high and 2 overs too. Both players have here on table 1 very low stack, so stack to pot ratio is super low, and therefore the shoving range is extremely high. So I just want to realize my equity as cheap as possible. I think this is a board I want to bet here with my very bad hands, small ones, as I fold, for example, 5s, 7s, and all the random stuff too. We don't need a big size. We don't want to attack something like Queen X. This needs way too much investment to get a fold from this type of hand at some street. And just checking down here. Sometimes we're good with 7s. Yeah, almost. Okay, must have ISO. And yeah, happy to get it in against him. In this size, he has less often aces and kings, which is beautiful. So often 10s, jacks, his queen, his king. That makes it even a little bit easier to just call it off. That's perfect. Oh. The river is not so perfect. But we got it in pretty good. Interesting table 3 here. Yeah, the size is sus. Very small. On this position, against with the double guts, I think we just have to call, no other option. I don't think the ace is clean, only 9 and king. So I think with the pot we have not enough pot-ups to call here. but dude, he had king 6 off. So he had a top pair. Was it even a 2 pair? I can't see it right now. But yeah, interesting call from the big blind from him. Interesting turn, 2 in the limp pot. A little bit scary, the 3. But let's don't forget what the small blind just was doing before. Going mid check back. Worst case is if he has something like ace, jack, ace 10, but that's not really possible as he wasn't isolating. So he has in best case a ace x middle low kicker, but there are a lot of 2 pairs too, and it's relatively common to just play them passively. And therefore, I think we don't have enough equity to do a third bet here. Yeah, nice bomb pot, but unfortunately not the correct hand. Interesting. Okay, super happy that he checked that back. I think that's also good information. Like, in reality, if we really go through my range, I think he has very, very low amount of just showdown equity. So there's definitely a high tendency that he could bluff this. I think if we put this into a solver, it is a bluff. So good to know that he has a tendency to play these showdown hands more on the passive side. So I will make a note on that. For sure. Yes. Good to know. Because the next time this type of person, I will bluff catch a little bit less. Okay, against him we just try to get it in. Just gonna call here. No club, please. Yeah, okay. Jack is also not so good, but of course we cannot fold. Okay, wow. Wild dude. If it would be a little bit looser preflop configuration on table 1, I would definitely donk. But I think the ranges are a little bit too strong here. So I'm just really playing here for set value. It's so easy to overplay this type of hands. Like, this scenario already tight preflop configuration, so we end up in a post-up situation facing relatively tight ranges. I will make it, by the way, here relatively small. He's extremely short, so that a lot of people will call, and then he shoves, and then we can all go over it again. So there we go. I think because now only one guy was calling, I'm trapping here and just calling. Okay. But he's still folding, unfortunately. But yeah, the plan was working. So yeah, if the ranges are so tight already, I don't see reason trying to realize my showdown equity and try to get some people off of some draws or overcards. But of course, when the range is getting looser and looser, they have more often ace-x hands, stuff like this, and then the donks makes more and more sense, because this is the source of the EV, in my opinion. Getting folds from ace-x, But yeah, I think range is way too tight, and therefore preferring to play tight. And ace-10 off is an ISO against the cutoff. Looks sexy, but I will definitely fold here 6-5. Here he's super short, so I just want to give him the opportunity to bet, for example, King Jack off, which he just folds otherwise. Okay, close. Yeah, it's Friday. The tables, I mean, as you saw, I didn't do any table selection. And just in raw EV, we did here about 1.2, 1.5k of EV already in like 15 minutes. Yeah, it's crazy. Oh, this is a good example. Like, he shoves, I mean, it's, you know, he's super, super short. But it's, in terms of US dollar, it's still $160. Just random shoving me from UTG with 7-4, it's insane. The table, okay, is done. Or maybe not. Yeah, okay. Ooh. Okay, I'm still going for a call as the first here this guy could sometimes limp 3-bet. Just call, fold. Okay, nice. And the other one should always fold or call. Should. Yeah, making here is set is infinity EV. As they never folding here an ace or stuff like this. So, insane EV source. Just trying to be careful with not ending in a situation where they have a reasonable limp 3-bet range. But this is something definitely possible to identify. There's very strong tendencies. Same like on table 2. Like in some players here has a super wide range, the ISO player, and some of them are super tight. Of course, there's something between the two, but yeah. So observing here what's going on, the has so much EV. So definitely going. So here I will make the 1BB concept with ace queen off. Alright. Now I think I can make even a value bet or check. I think I can. Yeah, I think I can just check. Okay, that's the best. Yeah, I'm gonna pot here. The thing is, we have this note that he's super tight. So I really want to avoid the check back with a weak ace. Yeah, I have even 2 notes on him. Yeah, so that he's super passive but calling a lot. So in this case I prefer a little bit more the bet instead of check shove. Yeah, I think we can get you some value. Yeah, I'm gonna trap ace queen. Okay. That was close. Table 1 is not so beautiful. I know a lot of these players, but wow, look at that. This is what I mean with this guy. He's so nitty crazy. Yeah, like we can definitely exploit here 3 players out of 5. I know these guys, but they are all on the more passive, tight side. So the potential exploits will not generate super wild EV. So I think I'm looking for another table if there's one possible. Yeah, on top right. I mean, I think check makes more sense with ace high flush. If it's like jack high flush, I can definitely see making here an all in. But we have so much showdown value with the ace high. Interesting. Yeah. Okay, very, very interesting. He had 9-7 off. So he was like calling the turn with literally nothing, nothing, nothing. And tanking on the river. Sometimes 9 high is good. Yeah, if I bluff him there with 8 high or weaker and he's calling, I look like the idiot. I would make a small bet here, but against the pot is just a fold, even with a diamond, I think. Betting here against 5 people is extremely less like that he has a draw. So just a ton of king X and stuff like this. Okay, there's only one other table available. Okay, I'll take this one. Yeah. I mean, I keep this one. It's the same. And then I can switch to the other table. There we go. That's interesting. I think when he makes a delayed bet with that size, I think it's a weak ace or even weaker. So I prefer to turn this hand into a bluff. Instead of just calling, you know, then river obviously blank, then check check. Or check bet fold. Or if then heart comes, he just then checks back with his semi-strong hands, and he doesn't have a lot of really strong hands related to the check back on the flop and his size on the turn. I think my cat wants to join the session. Curious about the Asia vibes here. Okay, and even, especially in cash game, it is more important as we sit longer on the same table playing with the same people. And these spaces where we have no action with our hands, we can still get so many information and grow our EV by that. So just observing what is happening maybe we even see a showdown and understanding the tendencies of individuals. And knowing these compared to a player who's just unknown is so strong in my opinion. What is the word for that? Like the importance of doing that is so easy to underestimate. This was the word I was searching for. Because you cannot measure directly the EV gap. But if you think about that, or actually you could, but it requires some work. But if you would go so, it's so intense, the gap. So therefore, I can see myself when, I don't know, I don't feel good or whatever it is, and I'm not doing this anymore. That I'm right now in something like a C state of my game plan. So as long as I'm able to focus there, I think I'm something in the A-B game category and produce so much more EV per hour, in my opinion. So classic was the hand on top right. Like with what type of hands he was shoving here on the turn. And okay, yeah, here it makes it even easier as we are able to see all hands all the time. So we can get way more faster when we use this tool to identify the tendencies and at least creating the potential to have a higher V compared to our competitors. Yeah, but he had just random ace high trips he was shoving, so no information from the previous hand I think we can take there. Alright, and gonna finish this session for here. So thank you guys, and I will be back with another one very soon. Bye bye guys. Alright, this was just for the video, so I'm gonna continue the stream. Ace 2 here in diamond, suited hand, I think pretty nice to just check here as it has so much nut potential, straight and nut flush. So if we hit one of these, we really want to have as much as possible players here included. With a 2 kicker and the 8, I think I'm gonna check back. But I can see doing a bet against some draws. Yeah, I'm now just checking it down. Like, as we don't generalize any EV. Yeah, against bigger stacks, I'm gonna call here. But otherwise, I think the implies are just too low. Ooh, Wyatt. Oh, this is an interesting one here on top left. And I definitely want to see what he was check raise folding with kings and jack 8. Okay. Interesting. Interesting, the king's guy. I think this was very, very loose. What is the other guy? He had ace jack. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. So it was a good fold, I think, from the ace jack guy. But the king's guy here, the DJ, I think this is significantly going broke to lose, as he does not know. Like, the cold call, as you saw, was already including a 2 pair, and the check raise is then mostly also 2 pair or better. So pot check raising here in a way that he just commits himself to go all in is interesting. So something we should be aware of, and yeah, knowing that gives us a good spot in the future. Ace-9 is a little bit too strong, I think, to just limp. But something like Ace-2, Ace-3, Ace-6, I can see putting in a limp. and you're making random bet. He has a limping range, so like 60% range. So very often they just fold without thinking about my range or something like this. If it doesn't work, that's fine. Also, I can never check call here something. Interesting. Wow, King 6 here. So close, so close. Yeah, I think folding would be fine too, to be honest. Very interesting turn. Very interesting turn. What is he potting against like 5-6 guys? Okay, this is an easy river in terms of how we should play. Yeah, this is... I think this is just an easy fold, even against a small size. Let's see what he had. He had... okay, the flush. Yeah, 9-7 in diamonds. Interesting that he plays it so aggressively on the flop. Even that he continues on the turn here, as it was the worst turn for him. Yeah, that's sad. Very lucky. Okay, gonna... let's see if we can find one. Okay, there we go. Cat. Beautiful turn. So let's extract max EV against the weaker S6 combos. Make it almost pot. He snap calls. And just betting. Not super, less, something like 80%. Okay. Okay, let's go. Wow. Yeah, and he just had a draw. 8-7 in diamonds, so gut shot and flush draw. So also, I think, good to know, just played it super passive. ace queen is here the weakest hand. I'm gonna go for it. Especially with the timing tell. Okay. Yeah, it just sixes, which is super standard with that stack size. It's playing that limp shot. Gonna limp here again, especially with 3 shorties after us. So it's more likely Sunworm will ISO, but no. No. No, no. Um, 300k. We have to be careful with the slim sharp, but 300k king queen is strong enough to call. 400k would be ugly. But yeah. We take that. Wow. This is also insane top left, that he checks here his tens all the time. Especially on the flop, as he has an overpair not protecting his equity. So I always will make a note of that. Here I really want to avoid facing a 3-bet and the EV gap, having it here in a limp or isolating is relatively equal. As long as they don't 3-bet here super often. Okay, now it's a non-brainer. Shove. Wakes up with ace-10. Which I think is the top of his range, but okay. Okay. Was thinking about a limb 3-bet. Not sure how often they fold, so we isolate then. The guy with almost 100% range. But the button destroyed these plans. Alright, let's see the bomb pot. Just, nah. Yeah. On the jackpot board, we don't really have anything, but hey, we have ace king here on a very good board. Make it super small. Maximum, I think, 30%. I really don't like the turn. I think it's a check here. Okay, it's a good river. Yeah, and we just call. I mean, yeah, aces we shove. Yeah, we just call this. Yeah, for bluff catching these type of hands, beautiful. What do we have? Flush draw, double gut shot. The easy call against the cutoff, but the question is how often the players behind them will shove. I don't think so often here. I think we can really just call it. Yeah. Especially because we have nut potential on the jackpot one. So no check raise, please. Check call, check fold. Come on. Let it blank a little bit more. Not possible. Okay, but now the river was here super good. I mean, if he has king queen, that would be insane sick. But yeah, he's tanking. No way he's folding. That would be insane. Okay. Wait. Oh my god. That's insane. Okay, this is this is awesome. Wow. So he had, for understanding, he had on board 2 a little bit equity and on board 1 0. And therefore queen high was good enough, and on board 2 we just made the nuts. So that's insane, and we just won $1 million, which is almost 1k. That's crazy. That is crazy. And here, I think just shoving here is, yeah, jacks is definitely good enough. They not always have aces. Yeah. It holds. Wow. Okay. Nice. Very, very nice. I was really not expecting that he has a hand which is so weak, especially on the jackpot board. So that's, yeah, that's super good for us. Table 2 here, really scary if you play this draw heavy board. You don't have almost any opportunity to increase your equity. I mean, almost. Against 6 people. So against any kind of re-aggression, I will choose the peaceful ray. Folding. A little bit, I mean, actually very equal, the situation on table 3 here. Okay. 8 kicker, 3 calls. King is really good for us. I want to choose a size where they have a little bit do calculation, like how big the size is, what can I do, so that I reduce the random aggression range a little bit. I really don't want to see any kind of bluff against my second barrel. And now it's a very, very bad turn, and yeah, we just have to fold. Not sure if the Fawn Club helped us or killed us. It killed us. He had 9-10 in clubs. Wild call on the turn, but yeah, it is how it is. Especially with the 2 cold callers, there's then the potential that there will be a raise. Ah, that's, yeah, like the the second person who was folding then the turn had also a flush draw. So very, very call heavy from this guy. This is a super dry board, and because the ranges are so weak, excluding the UTG player, I'm gonna go for a bet. Oops. Just oh, that hurts. So much equity we folded there. The 6 looks connected, but keep in mind this is a limp, even not a limp range. It's just a small blind range for 0% extra investment. So it's not, it's pretty irrelevant how much it connects then there. Not completely, but like he has 2-4 off, for example. So all the random stuff is still included, and this is also an extreme bet, so just gonna go for fold. Dirty. Dirty, dirty, dirty. Don't see a reason to just get it in, because we realize our equity mostly on the flop. So with the pair, just check shove, but here, don't see the reason. Just nuts. Definitely betting here again. No reason to check back. He has a lot of flushes too. And he's committed to all in. What? Okay. Yeah, that's a little bit wild. I mean, if he's super short, that makes totally sense. But he still had about $500. We don't want to complain. That's it. Gonna do now a break from the session. Yeah. Crazy. And pretty good up. Almost 3 million. It's a little bit over 2K. Even with the first big all-in, we lost with Ace King, with Ace Queen. But yeah, it's Friday, the Friday. Okay, so thank you guys, and gonna probably play a session later too. So good luck at your session and have a great one. Bye bye.